Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News.
Good afternoon. Bill Bryant and Barbara Bailey for WKYT. As the news continues at 12:30, the early cold snap also continues. In fact, the highs today will probably not even make it out of the 30s.
Light snow is falling in the mountains of eastern Kentucky. This video out of hazard. Some snow is sticking to plants and grassy areas. We're tracking the potential for snow here this weekend. We begin with WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris in the First Alert Weather Center. What are we going to get, Micah?
Well, it looks like that system's going to move out. Then we're going to get some wraparound moisture that's going to bring us a little bit more snow that some of us haven't seen today. Now, down toward the south and southeast, you guys started off early with those snowflakes falling. But now the central zones and northern zones are going to get in on the mix once we get this system on out of here. But you look to the north, there's that energy coming from the Great Lakes. Wraparound moisture, the northwest flow pumps in that moisture and gives us at least that chance of flakes once it makes its way out of Indiana into our northern zones first here in the next couple of hours, slowly but surely gliding into the central zones. So if you're sitting in Frankfort, we're 30 degrees. Georgetown, Lexington, Richmond, doesn't matter where you go, very popular number at 30 degrees and maybe even seeing a few flakes. Remember, we're not looking at any accumulation out of this one as it comes rolling on through, but it's cold enough. Why not let it snow? Overnight and into tomorrow morning, we're at 19 degrees. Here comes that really cold air barreling down on us. That takes us off into the weekend and then another big system. And this is our biggest system that we're going to be watching. We have new weather data that just came in. I'll go over that with you coming up in a few minutes.
See you in a bit with that. We thank you. And with the weather turning colder, concern is rising for people who don't have anywhere to go to stay warm.
The Catholic Action Center has now opened its doors around the clock, and GodsNet is handing out coats and blankets to those in need. WKYT's Whitney Wetzel is live with more on the help for the homeless.
Well, as temperatures continue to drop, more and more people are stocking up on coats, hats, jackets, scarves, basically anything to keep warm, preparing for a frigid week ahead. Hundreds of people have already been in and out of GodsNet, picking up and donating these items. Officials here say they're going out the door about as quickly as they come in, so donations are very much needed right now. Over at the Catholic Action Center, they're open 24/7 to provide a warm place to sleep and a hot meal. Officials say food and clothing donations again are very much needed at this time.
I don't think any of us expected an Arctic blast in the middle of November. It didn't give us a lot of time to prepare. We're used to brutal winters, especially last winter with the polar vortex, but we weren't prepared mid-November for this.
Food and clothing donations can be dropped off at the Catholic Action Center. Again, right now they are open 24/7. Clothing and blanket donations can also be dropped off here at GodsNet as well. We're live in Lexington. Whitney Wetzel, WKYT.
Thank you, Whitney. And GodsNet is open 10 to 2 Monday through Saturday.
Well, it's official. Senator Mitch McConnell has been elected as the new Senate Majority Leader. Kentucky's senior senator was unanimously chosen by his fellow Republicans during a closed-door meeting this morning in Washington. As Majority Leader, McConnell will set the Senate's agenda. Along with the House Speaker, John Boehner, they will be deciding what legislation is sent on to the White House. McConnell was elected to a 6th Senate term last week. He is Kentucky's first Senate Majority Leader since Democrat Alvin Barkley held the post back in 1947. A meeting is underway right now to help find a new leader for the Fayette County school system. Superintendent Tom Shelton announced his resignation last week. Board members are discussing options today for an interim superintendent. Dr. Shelton's last day in the job is December 31st. Board members have said they would like to have an overlap. Shelton is leaving to become the executive director of the Kentucky Association of School Superintendents.
Well, it's one of the state's newest shopping destinations. The outlet shops of the Bluegrass in Shelby County has only been open for a few months, but it's already becoming a target for shoplifters. WKYT's Mark Barber tells us how some of the thieves are trying to outsmart security in this Crime Tracker report. Mark?
As hundreds of people filled their shopping bags at the outlet shops of the Bluegrass this weekend, police say Anthony Ruffin and Jerome Harkness went store to store, stealing what they could.
On Saturday, the total was a little bit over $7,000 worth of merchandise.
We're told the thieves took shoes from the Nike store, speakers from the Bose store, and thousands of dollars worth of jackets from the North Face. Simpsonville Police Chief Chip Minnis says the thieves had a special duffel bag that blocked alarm systems from picking up on the security tags on the merchandise.
The ones on Saturday were extremely prepared.
But as they walked to their car to unload the stolen goods, employees noticed.
Store personnel as well as the mall security folks kind of picked up on it and they started watching them.
Police showed up, arrested one of the men, and took their car. We're told the other man went to a nearby restaurant where he started asking people for a ride back to Cincinnati. Investigators say a mall employee at the restaurant called police when he realized the man was trying to get away. Then on Monday, police say 2 more thieves also tried to rip off the mall.
On Monday was more or less come in, get what you can get, conceal it, and get out. They had tried to get away with about 3 Armani suits, and the price on those was a little over $1,000 a piece.
Officers tell us they are still looking for the 2 people who stole from the mall on Monday. We're told the shoplifters who were caught Saturday will appear in court this afternoon. In Shelby County, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Police don't believe the 2 cases are connected.
Today marks 13 years since the murders of 2 Jessamine County Sheriff's deputies. Captain Chuck Morgan and Deputy Bill Walls were shot and killed as they served a warrant. A 3rd deputy was wounded. The suspect died in a shootout. Morgan and Walls have a memorial outside the Jessamine County Sheriff's Department. Well, a woman's weight at the time of her pregnancy could impact the development of her baby.
And one surgery isn't often enough for many breast cancer patients. Ebony Williams has details in this Better Living report.
A quarter of breast cancer patients who have lumpectomies end up undergoing subsequent surgeries, according to a new study in JAMA Surgery. Researchers in Wisconsin say among patients who had an additional operation, about 38% had a mastectomy. The authors say many of the follow-up surgeries are unnecessary, but are done because there's no clear consensus on how big the margin needs to be between the tumor and the healthy breast tissue. A new study in the New England Journal of Medicine shows falls are the most common cause of head injuries in children 12 and under. But in teenagers 13 to 17, head injuries were most often caused by assaults, sports, and car crashes. Among the teens injured in car crashes, fewer than half were wearing their seatbelts, and among bike accidents, less than 20% were wearing helmets. And a woman's pre-pregnancy body weight seems to affect the early development of her fetus. Researchers in Britain found the embryos of overweight and obese women had less glucose and more fat than other embryos, which could lead to long-term health implications for the children. Those are some of the day's top health stories. Ebony Williams, CBS News, New York.